Right there.
I got a little scrap ball. I got a full bag over there.
What's that?
But if everyone's reviewed, there's really no explanation needed. You can go through a Oh, okay, so you got some information. Okay, and then you can share it with us. Right. I gotta go to the bathroom before we start.
Well,
We'll spend all of it.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day that you've given to us. We thank you for the beautiful fall weather that you provided. We just ask you now that your hand will be in this meeting from beginning to end, and that your will be done. And we just thank you for being our God and loving us the way you do. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, maybe always busy to me. I just always love to hold on to it. Thank you.
Strumming out for us.
Agreed.
To do it, I can listen now. I can edit that out. What are you gonna do with that?
Text hazmat response.
That was Monday,
Go fly out.
Monday morning.
That's wild.
I didn't get one for the picture because we got one on call.
Run off.
EBT, amount of children. Okay, postmark. Somebody's at somebody's mind.
I just saying that. So, would they call that a contractor?
They basically got their own contractor. They're on
Wow, that's wild. It's a weird, I didn't think there'd be a racket in that kind of thing.
You know, older. Record office.
Evening, everyone. We'll call this city council meeting to order. November 17th, 6 p.m. at City Hall. We'll go ahead and start with citizens' comments. Norma Olsby.
I just have a slight statement. I'd like to speak to the city council and the citizens of Hawkins. I filed a case before the 402nd District Court in Clinton, Texas regarding the mishandling of the May 3rd, 2025 election. It's truly an unfortunate incident that it came to this point. I am not a sole winner, and there is no sole loser. Everyone who took the time to go vote is a loser in this matter. Jackie Burns, this was never about you personally, but how the election was handled. You and I both were caught up in the errors that were made out of our control. And I want to thank everybody that backed me and supported me in this matter and gave me guidance, especially the accountability matters that put in a lot of time helping me. Thank you.
John, done? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, I'm just up here for the building permit, I don't know if y'all need to talk about that or.
I've got the information. I'm sure everyone else got the information.
I wasn't sure if I needed to sign up on that or not.
Don't, you might as well, but yes, it is on the agenda for number 4. So I'll have the council vote on it at number 4. You got anything else? You sure? Okay. Sharonda Targus. How do you say that? How do you say the last name?
Hargis.
Targus. Okay. I just should have said it with more confidence.
I sent a PDF to all the council members' emails because it was 140 pages, no need to print it out. But that is the gist of what goes hand in hand with that PDF. Today I stand here representing accountability matters. And I stand here as a representative and a resident, and I'm deeply alarmed. Last week, I did a public information request for emails between the city secretary, Mandy Thomas, and Judge Mitch Henderson. It was very eye-opening, and what these records show is not a misunderstanding, and it's not a personality conflict, and not an internal disagreement. What it shows is a municipal judge who's violating the law. He's violated judicial ethics. He's abused his authority, and we honestly believe that he's threatening unlawful punishment, interfering with city operations, as well as, in our opinion, he is exposing our city to some serious liabilities. Now, I'm gonna follow this all up with a formal complaint, to the SCJC, and that is the State Commission of Judicial Conduct. Let me give you an example. On March 28th, he drafted a contempt letter, and he sent it to the city secretary and informed her to print it out, mail it, and sign his name. This letter contains an illegal threat. It states to a Hawkins resident that he could be sent to Huntsville State Prison for a fine-only offense. The municipal judge has no authority whatsoever to imprison a defendant in TDCJ for a Class C misdemeanor. This is not a gray area. It is official oppression under Penal Code 39.03, and it's a violation of that individual's due process, because what happened was they came and said, we can't pay it, can I sit it out? The judge responded, no, you cannot sit it out, I believe you can pay it, and if you do not respond in 5 days, then you will be held in contempt and you can be sent to Huntsville State Prison, not Wood County. That's improper. He is ordering the city secretary to just sign his name and type it in. That's illegal. You cannot do that. You cannot delegate a judicial act. He has had ex parte communications concerning active cases. You cannot do that. He is using, on November 6th, attempting to use his judicial power to coerce city staff. He did so by saying, would you prefer a court order requiring a meeting? I can accommodate that. A municipal judge cannot issue a court order compelling staff meetings. This is an unlawful attempt to use judicial authority as a weapon. No one in this city, not even an employee or a citizen, should ever be threatened with judicial power for an administrative convenience. There are a lot of things that are concerning in there. There are certain job duties that a judge, a clerk, and attorney has. State law and attorney general says a judge cannot do a clerk's position. It is a conflict of interest. He cannot research out cases. He cannot advocate those services. He cannot do anything other than preside over something that is active in front of him.
Is time up? What time is that?
That's my discretion. Please stop.
You're
You're gonna look it up in the law. Go.
You can allot it for who you want to allot it for, but you're gonna have everybody else
She
chip
can
in
have
some
my 3
needles.
minutes.
Council, I'm asking for you all to
Stop.
extend the 3-minute
Thank you.
time limit by 2 minutes for everyone who has signed up, so everyone will have at least
All
5 minutes to speak.
Ready, have.
Is that better, Ms. Pat?
I know.
Because I was gonna ask
I know.
for that.
I do appreciate that, and I'm glad that you have said that, so maybe it will be done, because it's ignored at any other time.
Thank you for agreeing. He cannot use his power to interfere with city business. When he interjected himself to call the IT department for billing, you cannot do that. It is a violation of separation of powers on a municipal level. This pattern is not isolated. And what's even more concerning is, I'm gonna give a shout out to Matthew Todd Eddington on this. And I'm gonna say this in this regard, and I hate that Greg Branson isn't here today, because Greg can actually validate how I turned in this public information request. I turned it in on a Monday evening. It was filled Tuesday afternoon. Between the time I turned it in and the time that the secretary filled it, there was a request that came in regards to Todd Eddington from our city judge. If we have no active cases and that young man has nothing open, why do we have a city judge who is inquiring about a resident? Well, next day I went back, there's a lot of damn pages. I wanted it scanned to the PDF so I could send it all to you. Put in another information request to have my prior one filled electronically. Guess what? There was another email from our city judge in relation to Todd Eddington. I'm concerned. What makes me even more concerned is if you go back, I think it's a week, 2 weeks prior, you guys keep up with it more than I do, when you have a judge that reaches out to an individual's page and then talks about it, and then you get access in a software remotely at your house, and then within 14 days, you're asking questions, that's concerning. So I just wanted the city to know that, and we will file that formally because I think somebody else needs to look at it other than me. Thank you.
Glenn Lane.
Never mind.
Charlene Peoples.
Well, of course, we have a lot of concerns that we have to be worried about, but to me, the most concern is our police department. I want to know how many applications have been interviewed for policemen and police chiefs. Mandy, can you give me a number on that? Do we have applications in file?
We haven't gotten any in since.
What happened to the applications? This is very concerning to me because they tell us that applications are turned in and then nothing happens. And the state doesn't have them, so where are y'all putting them? You just file them in file 13?
They're in the phone,
You're doing your job. You're fine.
Who has, I know there have been people to apply for the job. So why can't you give me somebody's name? Mr. Mayor, can you do that?
You can call me or email me anytime you want.
I call you, but you don't know what you're doing anytime I want. But I want to know who has filled out an application and where is the application and why hasn't the board seen it? Why do you just toss these away? They could be good men. We need those people. We need them here. There's someone trying to break in my place last week. I want protection here. You don't have any applications, Mandy?
yes ma'am, they would sit there in the door, they've been there.
Where are they?
They're in the phone cabinet, and they're in the vault.
Have they been shown to the council?
I just had to give them to the mayor, that's what I'm supposed to do.
That's a no.
Well, council, I suggest you demand those applications. And if the mayor hasn't reviewed them, she needs to review them and let it happen.
Are you done? Next. Roger Walker Wheatley.
Regards what we just heard from Sharonda, I will only say Proverbs 18:17. In a lawsuit, the first to speak seems right, until someone comes forward and cross-examines. Investigate some of those claims. Some of the wording seemed rather to me to draw a conclusion that did not necessarily fit the statement. I think it bears examination. Regarding proposed removal of our current municipal judge, uninformed or misinformed actions have consequences. We've seen such within our city governance. A direct instruction for Mayor Rushing resulted in the dismissal of 75% of our police force. Later, stating that she owned up to the mistakes, still left us without the officers yet to be replaced. Also, from only a partial understanding of the idea of a mayor acting as a municipal judge, we learned that that can be okay, but not for simultaneous pay. Another comes from the unilateral dismissal of our final officer. Lawsuits involving the manner of dismissal for the officers, won or lost, will cost our city. In October's meeting, just last month, Judge Henderson informed the council that if the proposed action to remove the city secretary's job description number 19 were approved, that would, quote, effectively shut the court down, unquote, and the council would all be in contempt of court. I'll divert from the page by now to say there's a person that was just touted a moment ago, Mr. Todd Eddington, who on his page basically said that the judge was threatening about throwing people into contempt of court. He said no such thing. He simply informed that certain action that was taken that would result in the court being in contempt of court. Words matter, spin matters. Pay attention. In the absence of this judge, that agenda item may well have been approved. Its presence on the agenda proved that no legal understanding of that particularly significant matter existed by the author or the authors of the agenda. In legal matters, it is not better to ask forgiveness than permission, and ignorance is not bliss. And there are many other reasons to retain our experienced municipal court judge. Loss of him will immediately result in the loss of much needed revenue for Hawkins. And if the secretary has, as she stated, no real time for anything new, it's virtually certain that no additional processing of existing citations will happen, even if we're told they will, risking lost revenue and again, no legal representation. The voiced interests of many citizens get marginalized or outright ignored. We're left with a near monopolistic stranglehold on city government. Obvious concerns are tabled, while minutiae of process remove candidates from participation. Defying probability, these remarkable discoveries in paperwork somehow always resolve to favor preferences on one side only. And the only benefits to the removal of our current municipal judge would be to those who cannot abide by opposition in any form to every whim they wish to voice upon citizenry. All the while, no police, no new citations. Both the secretary and court judge mentioned no new citations would be processed. And we'd have things like the eyesore and safety hazard of the old cleaners still sitting after 2 years, more junked out properties blossom, and criminality has no real opposition or consequence.
Chuck?
Well, being a longtime resident of the city here, I would oppose item 5, the removal of the judge, Mitch Henderson, effective immediately, because for one thing, Chapter 35 of your own municipal ordinances state that the judge, however, such judge shall not be removed until he is given due notice of the grounds for removal and is given an opportunity to present a defense and oppose said grounds of removal in a hearing before the mayor and the city council. He has received no notice of what the charges are against him, and he is subject before removal if the city council finds that he is guilty, but the city council has to find him guilty before he can be removed. And you would also have to appoint another judge to replace him, which there is no agenda item for that I can see. Plus, I have asked several months ago for an agenda item to be added to the agenda of the following meeting that is the status of hiring a police chief. And this has not been added to any city council meeting agenda so far. And that's been at least 2 months. So, you've heard from the citizens that they want a police department. I'm concerned that number 11 or 13 could be a reason for you to not hire a city police chief, because you will say we can't afford one. All right, that's all I have to say.
Mr. Boyd?
Thank you guys for your time. This is a handout just to kind of, that way we be efficient. My name is Jason Boyd. I'm a retired educator from this community, and I love this place. I just want to have some real quick things. Number one, that statute that's mentioned is 551.007. That could potentially add time to us and give us time. Y'all can change that rule if you choose to, but that's the statute and it's the time limitations. 551.007B, again, requires government bodies to permit certain time on the agenda. There is an or in there, which is a conjunction to me, I know, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm trying to read the law to the best of my ability. But it's like when the gentleman wanted the time last week or last month, that he could have said it there, but that's moving on with that. Anyway, a government body may satisfy that part by holding a single public comment period at the beginning, or you can do it during the agenda items. That's up to y'all's body of work there. This is a tough time. There's a lot of tension in here in our community. I understand that, but surely there's something positive to celebrate. If you have been to our public library, I hope anybody's been to our public library. It is, I'm a small town guy. I've been to many small towns. I've used small town libraries. Ours is excellent. Ms. Norma Hallmark represents our city well in doing that. The artistic work that's been done in there now is phenomenal. Hope you all get by to see that. Something very, very positive. I was listening to the news, and another channel or another community, they were having water boils. I don't know when we've had the last water boil here at home. So that's something positive. I don't know how many gallons we produce a month. Maybe 2 million, 5 million, I don't know. But again, something positive and something we don't have to deal with. We take that for granted. I was saying, Mike, he's not even here at this moment in time. Our oil festival just last month was very positive. There's something good going on in our town. And I know there's some struggles here, and I understand that. But again, I've even had the idea to assist our city, come up with some type of volunteer potholing crew to potentially assist our city and help them take something off their plate so that they can do something else. I don't know, but I'm sure to run that through a city attorney, which comes to my next point. Do we have a time frame for an attorney, the city attorney? Do we have a time frame for the city police chief? Obviously, that's a big issue for all of us today. That's something we would love to see, that time frame, however you do it, when you do it. But yes, most of the citizens want that very quickly, but again, we just want to be a little bit safer here in our community. Okay. The water boring under the railroad tracks. I, as a citizen, have reached out to Elon Musk. He is a great, I don't know if you know, he's a boring guy. He does crazy things with boring. I've even tried to reach out to him to see if he could assist us in this process and hopefully save our city people some money. By the way, he's not returned a call, just to let you know. I've tried, but it's not there yet. But I've actually done that. I don't understand the city grant writers. I don't know how we do that here at Hawkins, and I guess I should. So I don't know if are they on board with this, trying to write grants for this water. Where are we on that process maybe? I guess maybe we could just be informed to let us know where that is. I know we just passed that new amendment that was potential out for small towns and like $1 billion set aside of the state. I don't know if we can get into that small pot of money. I don't know how that works. Most certainly I'm trying to become more and more efficient in reading the laws. Thank you very much. I was under 3 minutes.
That's the answer. I was listening.
Amy Pye.
I have nothing prepared. I probably will not be under the 3 minutes because I'm taking my extra 2 that we were granted 5 to begin with. And I'm very disheartened. I don't usually go off the cuff like this, but I didn't prepare anything. But the timeline that we have been left and slowly and methodically stripped of any kind of protection for our city is appalling. But it's come to fruition each and every time you, Madam Mayor, have set out to make sure it does. You refuse to work with an attorney in a favorable manner to keep an attorney. Wonder why nobody will come here to serve as our city attorney? Because of your opposition, the constant battle to do anything, just like you have with your citizens here. And I know I'm just a 15-minute resident, hadn't been here that long, but I've got my grandchildren here. I bring my grandchildren here during the summer to enjoy the small town feel. I wasn't raised in a small town. I came here excited. In the 2 years I've been here, I've seen the Oil Festival cut in half by attendance. I've seen everything we've tried cut in half, dwindling down. I've seen the actual morale of the city go down tremendously. And I used to be set, I'm moving to Hawkins. That's where I'm gonna plant my last roots. That's where I'm gonna enjoy my golden years. But now people ask me, where are you from? I'm like, Hawkins. And it's funny, a lot of people give a lot of props to the Wizard of Oz that works behind the curtain a lot. But yet he's a shallow, shallow man. And he leads out of anger, out of greed, out of pure drunkenness of power that he thinks he has. But his day of reckoning is coming, just as yours is, Madam Mayor. Because you pick and choose what ordinances you will follow and when you will follow them. You have done that since I have started coming here last October. You argue with the attorney, you argue with the judge. Police department doesn't do what you want to do, so you get rid of them. We have a city council member that was here. If I'm not mistaken, was voted for at the same election as another city council member. But they didn't get his name on the petition in time. To also get him removed because they thought that they had him in his pocket. Sorry about your luck. Some people actually have a conscience around here. Because if it worked for one, it should have worked for the other. But no, it went as exactly how y'all wanted it to go. And now I hear that maybe you may be going after the other one too. But that's okay. You know, you've already got what you wanted, where you have the tiebreaker say at the end of the day, with no regard to our citizens, to no regard to our voice, and no regard to your city, some of your city council members. And you sit here and you look at us and you make faces like we're ignorant or we're stupid or you don't know where we're getting this. And it's really pitiful that you have to think that you look down on your constituents. But you do it every time. You look down on some of your council members as well. You talk to them as if they're children. And it's appalling. But still, you sit there and you do it. And we ask and we plead and we ask and we plead for things to be on the agenda. And they're ignored. The only way we can speak or get anything done is to go through the agenda, get it discussed, get it voted on. But several times there's discuss, vote, and do when you want it to be that way. But other times you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to face it, you ignore it, you don't put it on the agenda. You blatantly ignore your department heads when they request to have stuff on the agenda. Keep looking with the furrowed brow. You know exactly who I'm talking about. But you still ignore it. Thank you.
My biggest concern is going to be probably the lack of law enforcement. Lack of law enforcement is taking place. And the fact that I've had several people say that we don't want to, we're going to hire a police department, and we've taken no steps at all whatsoever. So to say that the people want on the city council that they want a police department at this point, that's a false statement.
And now, our judge has apparently, y'all plan to smear him and then throw him out, which further lets me know that y'all don't want a police department. You don't want one. And you know what? With criminal activity that's going on in this town, you know what? If I was y'all, I wouldn't want one either. It's funny, huh?
I just didn't understand it.
You don't understand. Probably the fact that you're breaking a lot of laws.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, you're breaking a lot of laws. So yeah, I wouldn't want them here either. But we still don't have a police department, and we're not even seeking to get one.
Trash.
That's correct. Because we have taken absolutely no steps, not even put anything on an agenda or anything, but to strip the city of everything we can strip of it. What's next? What are we going to strip next? The judge is pretty much on the chopping block. And to stand here and smear him, oh, that's just underhanded. I just can't believe it's happening like that. But y'all continue to keep, stepping over the citizens. And we're about tired of it. About had it with it. So it's coming. So day's coming. It'll happen. Yeah. There you go.
Done? All right. That is everybody that I have on the list to speak. So we will move on to discussing the Frontier new fiber optic network in Hawkins.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and members of city staff. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Russell. I'm Vice President of External Affairs for Frontier Communications. And I'm here this evening to talk to you about an investment that Frontier is making here in your community by building a high-speed fiber optic broadband network here this year that's going to parallel the path of our pre-existing copper network that's been in place for several decades. But copper is a technology that's done a good job for the last 135 to 140 years, but it's really not adequate for today's technology needs. And so we met with the city staff last month to make them aware of our plans, and then they asked me to come back and share some details with you and the public tonight about the advanced services this new network will provide, how we plan to communicate with the public about what we're doing, our coordination with city staff, our methods of construction, and our restoration efforts. I know the council's got a copy of my slides here. I'm sorry that didn't have the technology to be able to put in my PowerPoint presentation on the screen, so I'll have to maybe describe a few things for the audience. But with me tonight is Brian Gooden. Brian is our Senior Manager for Construction and Engineering for Frontier in Texas, and Ryan O'Neill, who is our Director of Engineering and Construction for the state of Texas for Frontier. They're the actual folks who are really building this network in Texas, and I really appreciate their support here. And they get to answer any hard questions. But first, if you'll turn the page to after the title slide, the slide that says what is fiber, I wanted to talk a little bit about the fiber optic technology. We're building this new network by extending fiber optic cables to customers' homes and businesses directly from our local switching center. The fiber itself is made from ultra pure glass, and it's as thin as a human hair. And then we use high-intensity lasers to direct communications over the different wavelengths of light into your home or business. There's nothing that will ever go faster than the speed of light. It's not physically possible. That's why it's the best broadband product for connecting homes and businesses that there will ever be. It will not replace our existing copper network right now. People can stay on copper if they prefer. But this new network will provide amazingly fast broadband speeds with the potential to provide even faster services in the future. That's what we mean when we say there on the slide that it's future-proof technology. Now if you'll turn to the next slide, the one that says reliable community connections. This new network will provide your residents with broadband speeds up to 7 gigabits per second. That's 7,000 megabits to help, kind of translate what that means. And when people eventually need even faster speeds, all we have to do is upgrade the switching equipment in our local office, and we already know we can provide speeds up to 10 gigabits per second. And in our labs, we've tested speeds much higher than that. So as technology evolves and the need for more speed develops, we'll be able to provide that technology to your residents as well without having to build this network again. Once we built it, it's the network for today and for the foreseeable future. Fiber is also easier to maintain than the copper network. If the insulation on the copper cable gets nicked and moisture gets in, it can cause static and eventually lead to the service being disconnected. That does not happen with fiber. It's completely inert. There's no electrical current on the fiber, so it's not subject to any type of weather interference, or it's not subject to any interference from electrical. So if there's a storm and an electrical line were to fall on our fiber cable, that wouldn't affect our fiber at all. Obviously, it's a safety concern, but it wouldn't interfere with communications for your residents. On the next slide, I talk about the consumer impact of this new network. When we run the fiber down through the neighborhoods, when someone subscribes, then we'll come back and run a fiber optic drop to their home. And that connects to a device inside their home, which is a router that creates a Wi-Fi network, a wide area network inside their home, that most of the devices that people have in their home, that's what they connect to. Now, you can hardwire into the router if you want to through an Ethernet cable, but most people and most devices today use the Wi-Fi network, and that can be used for voice communication, it can be used for computer data and information, or for streaming services for information purposes. Two other important points I want to make. With some companies that provide this type of broadband technology, a customer has to share bandwidth with their neighbors. It's a shared network. So when everybody comes home and comes back from school and they all want to get on the device, the network slows down because they share the bandwidth with their neighbors. That's not true with our network. With our network, it's a fiber optic home run all the way from our switching center to your home. And so if you sign up for 2 gigabit service, that's what you're going to get because it's a dedicated circuit all the way to your home. You don't share the bandwidth with anybody. Now also with some companies, they will offer you a download speed of, let's say, 500 megabits, okay? But a much slower upload speed. That's not the way our network works. It's symmetrical. So if you buy a 500 megabit service from us, that's your download speed, but also that's your upload speed. With more people having to work from home, needing to upload videos and things like that from home, the upload speed's gotten a lot more important, and with our network, that's not a concern. On the next slide, it says it's time for your community upgrade. So how do we get this done? The slide that you have there shows the processes we're going to go through to build the new network. As I said earlier, my construction leaders and I already met with the city staff to discuss our detailed plans, local permitting, the location of city utilities, and any ordinances that might affect our project. Our construction is going to follow the path of the pre-existing copper network, and that's about 29% aerial and then 71% buried. For the buried work, we don't cut city streets, we don't do any open trenching, it's all directional boring, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Residents can get more detailed information about our construction process at the website that you've got there on the slide there, thefrontier.com/fiber construction. It's not sales information, it's all about the construction stuff and a lot of details about the technology. Now, as we are building, we will distribute door hangers to residents in the affected areas so that they know what's going on. And the door hangers, you've got pictures of them there in the next slide there. They have an email address and a number to call if people have questions or issues with what we're doing, as well as an indication of how long we're going to be working in the neighborhood. We have them in both English and Spanish are available. They also have a QR code that if you have a smartphone, you can take a picture of that and it'll take you to a website with a lot more information about the technology and the construction. Now, we know people are going to call city staff and they're going to call city council and the mayor, okay? But we're trying to do that to take as much of that off the city staff and the elected officials as possible. We have our own dedicated team within Frontier that responds to those questions and concerns from residents. In addition to the door hangers, we have like yard sales type size signs that say fiber is coming. There's a picture of that sign there on the next slide. And our construction crews put those down at the entrance to the streets that we're working on in the other end, so that people can drive by and see the sign that says fiber is coming, so they know why these people are in their neighborhood. It also has information on there about, you know, the number and the email stuff, but it's something you can see easily from your car to say, okay, that's what these guys are doing. Another thing that we do is we have our contractors take video footage of what the neighborhood looked like before we began our work,
so that we can verify that it looks like we'll fill in the holes, we're gonna put down sod, replace grass, things like that, to try to make it, look like it did before we started our construction work. I've got pictures, there on the next slide that you're looking at. Those are pictures of the directional boring we do for the buried facilities. And in your picture there on the right, that orange tubing is conduit that we pull through the boreholes, and then the fiber optic cable is pulled through that conduit. Like I said, we don't do any open trench work, and we backfill the holes once the boring is completed. The picture you see there on the left with the orange safety fencing around it, that is a buried cabinet that we call a hand hole. I've got a picture of that I'll show you here in a second. But that's where we place the buried cabinet, and so those are going to be all in the right of way. And so some people will have those at the front of their property, and those hand holes can serve between 4 to 8 customers. So not everybody's going to have one, and they're flush with the ground. I've got one in the right of way at the front of my property. I've had this service at my home for over 20 years. I ride my riding lawnmower right over it, no problems. It's something new, so people will notice it at first, but hopefully it won't be any problem or impediment for those. Then on the next slide, you've got a picture of the buried terminal that we call the hand hole. And they will, like I said, they'll all be in the public right of way. But we don't want people to park a vehicle on it, because the top of that is not rated for the weight of a vehicle, but riding lawnmower, no problem. On the next slide, it's a picture of my smiling face in front of a fiber hub cabinet. This is one that's close to my house. And that's the only thing really residents will notice above the ground is the fiber hub. They're going to be indicated on the detailed plans that we share with the city staff, so they can let us know if we're planning to put that someplace that might be inconvenient or there might be some problem there. Normally those go where we have the copper cabinets. Those are kind of the faded green cabinets you've seen around town. We try to make sure those are kind of an out-of-way place, and normally that's where the hubs are. The hubs can serve between 200 and 250 homes. So there will be several of those around town. But we do have flexibility as to where we put them. Then the next picture on the other slide is for aerial construction. It just kind of shows you what that looks like. You've probably been looking at that for decades. We overlash the fiber cable to the copper cable using existing utility poles. Now, we don't plan to install new poles unless we find one that's no longer safe. If it's one of our poles, we'll replace it. If it belongs to someone else, then we'll contact them about making sure that the pole is safe. And then on the next slide, it shows you what happens when we come to the home. When people subscribe to the service, we connect a smaller fiber cable, and in that picture, it's the black line that comes up from the bottom there. It's called a drop line. But it could be aerial if the network in that area is aerial. And it connects to that gray box you see there on the side of the house called an optical network terminal. I've got one just like this just outside my garage in my house. The optical network terminal connects to that device inside the home, the router, which we provide, that can then be used to connect to all sorts of devices. Like I say, I've been fortunate to have this service at my home for over 20 years now. I live north of Fort Worth. And so it came to the big metro areas first. And I've never had any problems with it. I've never had any service outages. When kids couldn't go to school, kids came to my house because I had the fastest broadband network, so they could Zoom call with their teacher and their classmates. So it's great for distance learning, work from home, things like that. And so Frontier is building this advanced technology in dozens of communities across Texas to modernize our network as a state certificated communications provider. Our project here is currently underway, and we plan to be finished by the end of this year, building out to more than 1,000 homes in and around the Hawkins area. I've already provided some general information to the city staff about our construction that the city can share on your website or any social media outlets that you have. And I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight about the investment that Frontier is making in Hawkins, and we're doing it with our own capital. No tax dollars, no grant monies. We're doing it with money that we've raised to make this investment in your community. I'd be more than happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
How many gigabytes in a gigabit?
1 gigabyte, well, let me say, 7 gigabytes, that's the top speed. That's 7,000 megabytes.
Plus. Okay, there's 7,000 megabytes to, how many gigabytes, and how many gigabits?
7 gigabits. It's very, very fast.
Can you say that again?
Pardon?
can you repeat that?
Sure. 7 gigabits is our top speed today, and that's equivalent
One-
to 7,000 megabits.
7 gigabits to, and that makes 7,000 gigabytes.
Megabits.
I mean, okay. 7 gigabytes to 7,000.
7 million megabytes. Megabits is million, so it's 7 gigabits is 7,000 megabytes. It's very
I'll
fast.
talk to you after.
Okay.
Does the outdoor terminal that mounts on the outside of the house though, does it hardwire to the router or is it talk to it wirelessly?
It's hardwired.
So you
Other
have to run
questions?
wires to the house? So you have to run wires to the house?
Got one back here, yes, sir.
When will this process be available to the public?
You wanna,
Yeah, the first community will be available this month, and then the rest of the 1,000 homes will be available by the end of the year.
By the end of this year?
yes, this year, just in time for Christmas. Other questions?
Are y'all just over at Lake Hawkins or just Hawkins here or whatever? I mean, that's where I live at.
Within the city or within the district?
Do you have copper service available for you today?
Well, we did have Spectrum for a little while. They put lines all around the lake. I don't know if it's Frontier can get on or what's going on there, but I'm sure we got them cut off for some reason.
Yeah, why don't we get your address and your contact number,
Okay.
and then we'll go look at it and see. The main build
I
is
know we
for
had
the,
phone service with Frontier, but we got that turned off because it was $70-something a month and surcharges and taxes and paperwork using cell phones. Well, I would have shut it down.
sure, yeah, we'll follow up and get back with you.
It should pretty much cover, the copper network was built originally pretty much in the city limits. And of course, that's changed probably some over the 50 years or so that network's been in place. But, so we'll follow the path of the copper, but if we are made aware of other developments that either are in place or are planned, we'd be more than happy to work with the developers to see if we might be able to extend the service in those areas as well.
What about Jarvis, the college that's right outside that city limit? Are y'all gonna be able to
Let us see
service
where-
with them?
Yeah, let us see where we stop, because I passed it coming in town this evening, so let me see how far out we go.
I just know
and
that
if it's
would be
something
really
we can-
great for them to have that opportunity, because I know a lot of their stuff has changed also, it's gone
Yeah,
online.
absolutely, yeah.
So, and they have a lot of people they have a lot of students that are there from out of state or Dallas area, Fort Worth area that now live here, so.
And this service sells very well in college communities because young people, whether they're wanting to do their research for studies or they want to do video games, they really like this technology.
Yes, yes.
Other
Just want to make
questions?
sure if we can take care of them, that we can take care of them. That's great.
We'll be happy to follow up on that, thank you.
So what's the cost?
Well, I'm not the sales guy, we're the build it guys, so we don't do marketing presentations, but that question usually comes up. The 500 megabit service is what, about 40 bucks a month?
Yeah.
So it's priced competitively, and we have different pricing tiers that go up. If you Google search frontier.com, you can find out what all the pricing tiers are. They vary somewhat based upon what you sign up for. So if you sign up for electronic billing as opposed to paper billing, you get a $5 a month break in price. Things like that can affect what the final price is, but that's a rough idea of kind of what it costs. Other questions?
That's your top, that 500?
Nope, 7 gigabits is top. And we already know we can take it to 10 gigabits whenever that's.
No, I'm saying as far as price, what is the sale?
So it kind of depends. Every month, our marketing team highlights a new product. This month, it's a 2 gig service. So you can almost get the 2 gig service cheaper than you can get the 1 gig service. So it's hard to say what the 7 gig is, just because it changes monthly. But it comes in a 1, 2, or 3 year contract, so you're locked into that price for those 2 or 3 years, let's say. So you're guaranteed that it won't increase over that amount of time.
Yeah, and you get a better price break if you extend the contract for a longer period of time, you know, that's the deal, so. So yeah, frontier.com, go check it out. Anything else? Yes, ma'am?
So if you get this service, like if we put that service in service and we get this service, well, and we get then how, what am I trying to say? Oh, yeah, that's okay. How many, it's gonna be 7 gigabits, which is 7,000
Megabits.
No,
Yep, megabits, yeah.
I mean, 7 gigabits, which is 7,000 gigabits.
Megabits.
7 gigabits, which is 7,000
Megabits.
megabits.
Megabits, yes.
And two, you could do the same thing that they're gonna do with the other gentlemen and get like an address and see where their service would be. But maybe we could do that.
One other thing I should mention, Ryan reminded me of, is that one of the differences in subscribing to our service as opposed to some other companies, because we're a state certificated communications provider under the umbrella of the Public Utilities Commission, we pay a franchise fee to the city for every customer that we have. So people that sign up for our service, the city gets the benefit of that by some income. It's not a huge amount of money, but every customer, there's a franchise fee on there that goes to the city, whereas with some companies, the city would not get the benefit of that. All right, thank you very much.
Thank y'all so much. Really appreciate you guys coming. It's exciting. Okay. Mr. Dunn, we're at number 4. Discuss and vote on a building permit at 590 Woodbine Drive for storage building.
Shop, basically. My present storage building is out of room,
Oh.
so I've got to expand.
Is it going in the, like behind you in front?
Backyard.
Because the way it is, it's like I see your backyard. And then when you turn down the street, then you see the front.
Yeah, no, it's in the backyard.
So,
Where
I figured
there's
it
a
wasn't
12 by
anywhere.
20 shed there now, and it'll all be gone, and I'm gonna set it in that back corner.
Okay,
11 foot off the back property line, and 6 foot off of my property line that joins with Matt
the
Davis.
day kisses. Okay. Perfect. That was my only question. Well, hang on, we can only talk, we're in this part where we can only talk, like if I'm talking to him. But if you want to talk to me after the meeting, I'm more than happy to talk to you. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys.
Any other questions for John from the council? Make a motion to approve the permit for 590 Woodbine Drive for a storage building.
I'll second.
All in favor? Did you get that second? Okay.
I got Dan and then Meredith and all of them.
All right. Vote to remove appointed municipal judge Mitch Henderson effective immediately.
Any questions from the council regarding this matter?
May I ask a question? Under what grounds are you wanting to terminate me?
I was told basically we don't have a police department, we don't need a court. The court's not active.
And we need a police department. And I just got through talking to the state last week.
Do we not have outstanding citations? Do we not have outstanding citations?
Yes, we have about 300.
Oh, so, okay.
Wait, guys, head of department only is speaking.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Yes, of course, he can speak, he's head of department.
Here's the story. We need a police department, okay? I personally have had 3 gentlemen's applications that had turned in for police chiefs. I'm getting told by the state and by Austin that, Mandy, is this correct? They said we have no application, we're not even on the state website for asking for applications for a city attorney or a police chief. They're saying we're not on that website for the state. Is that correct?
What are you talking about?
The TML website.
No,
And-
it's not on there.
Okay, and they told me, they said, I'm not trying to be in charge of this. I'm just saying, they said you need it, if we can't pick out someone, it doesn't take that long to get a police chief. And I want one just like everybody else, the citizens. they're saying, pick out 2 council, I don't have to be in charge of that. They should get 2 council members to put together a little group to get people to come in and apply and bring that in front of the mayor and bring that to the city council, and let us interview them to get a chief. But they said we need to get attorney first.
Okay, so are you
And-
asking him questions? Because
No.
none of what you're talking about is on the agenda.
Well, I know this was part of the agenda, because Manny said she didn't have time to do the court stuff, and that's why she didn't wanna be, I'm talking about last month, she said she didn't have time to do the court stuff. We can bring in approximately $60,000+ on our traffic citations, but my question is, we need a judge, we need an attorney and a chief. We already have a judge, let's get an attorney. We could try to have an attorney for next month, and we could get a chief for the next month, and then the next month, we could get an officer. We haven't had it this long, but we gotta start somewhere, let's just get one at a time. But we need him to keep going on, we finally got this laptop last month, where we can start processing these things.
Well, we don't own that laptop.
Yeah, but I know we had the meeting, said he would give it to the city.
Well, no, he didn't give anything.
He said we could have it after
No,
he was
he's
gone,
using his personal
right?
laptop.
To save money for not buying one.
Right.
So we didn't buy
So
one, he's trying to save us money.
Right, so the information went on his
Right.
laptop, yes.
But anyway, we need our judge, and we can't process these traffic citations without him. So getting rid of the judge ain't gonna do no, I mean, we need our judge, we need an attorney, and we need a police chief.
Let me speak to that a minute. Texas law, I'll just read it to you, you take it for what it's worth. The general law city council cannot terminate a municipal court judge during their term solely due to lack of work. But the city may be able to abolish the court by ordinance at the end of the judge's term if they find it's unnecessary. So you can't do it during my term. And if that's the reason that, as you stated, you're doing it, you cannot do it. We do have violation of promise to appear. We have several hundred of those. That is why I wanted to go into the program and be able to sort those out and see who and what and how many exactly we have, because I've heard 3 or 4 different numbers thrown at me. So that just happens to be the law.
There is an ordinance that was stated earlier that this is illegal to do. The process is illegal.
I make a motion to dismiss municipal judge Mitch Henderson.
I'll second.
Oh, by the way, it takes 4 votes.
Yeah, no.
That's the state attorney's office said it takes, by 22-071, it takes, well, to be honest, they didn't say 4.
There's a motion on the table,
They
I'm
said
sorry.
3, okay. It said it takes 3.3 votes, 3.3 and a third votes to
There's a motion.
remove. So we need 3 and a third votes.
It's section 22, section 22.077B, that it, when you refer to the number of elected aldermen, not just those currently serving or present at the meeting, the city was five elected aldermen, 2/3 of that number is 3.3, so at least 4 votes are required to meet the 2/3 threshold.
That's the same thing that I was told by the state.
Okay, so we have that motion.
So we need 4 votes.
No.
Absolutely not.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
motion's
the law.
on the table.
Can't pick and choose.
She seconded, Dan first, she seconded.
All in favor? Okay,
Who was in favor?
okay, you're opposed, I thought you were raising your favor. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay. So, there's a tiebreaker.
You have finally got what you want.
That's called disorderly conduct.
You have finally gotten what you want. But please, all due respect, I'm speaking to Madam Mayor,
Does not
my
have
mayor.
anything.
I hope so. I hope everybody's hearing
We're
it.
all hearing the trash.
Yes, I'm very loud.
Yes.
Very trash ass shit, trash ass shit.
I think I'm very sorry that you're being
Trash ass
this. You got pigeonholed.
Mandy,
You have my ultimate support. I will not, and you cannot make me.
Mandy, it takes 4 votes now.
My blood pressure is fine. I don't very well, but it is. I don't take any medication.
Hold on, everybody. We can't break the law.
Nobody gonna throw you out.
Hey, listen.
Hey, nobody throw me out. I have a voice and I can use it.
Okay, let me start all over.
I need
Listen,
order.
Okay, we're not
I
gonna break-
need order.
Okay,
You need help.
I need order.
okay, order. Okay. Now, may I speak?
Well, we need a judge, we need a police department, we need a city attorney, that's what we need.
Okay.
You can either leave,
No, I'm gonna stand right here.
then we need to stop, because it's called disorderly conduct.
Well, you're right.
Police department?
Dang. Police on him.
Okay, listen, y'all, I just told y'all what the law was. We're not going by the state.
Eric?
Now, hold on a second.
We've already voted.
No, we didn't vote.
Yes, we did.
No,
You went no.
That was a trash ass vote.
Hold on.
Careful, Eric, she'll vote, she'll make it where she gets to vote you off too.
Can I say something? This is really important.
Okay, let's go to the.
We need 4 votes to do this. We need 4 votes. We only have 2.
Number 6, please. Can we move to number 6? We already
I mean,
did
it-
number 5.
Yes,
I wouldn't even.
we need 4 votes.
Mayor, what law are you
We're not going by the state law.
I need order, that means no one is talking. That means no one is talking.
That includes you?
Yes, that means no one is talking right now. Thank you.
Okay.
May I ask what law you're referring to, that you can vote me out by a simple majority when the law is clear? It takes 4 votes. Of course, you don't know, because you don't have a keyboard warrior. Mayor, I have a very important legal thing I wanted to share with you, irregardless of this. So if you allow me and not interrupt me, please.
No, I definitely will not.
All right, this comes from the Texas Supreme Court. Now, I hope all those keyboard lawyers out there will identify that the Texas Supreme Court is pretty much the law of the land. Texas law states that accepting a second office of emolument is
Hey,
considered.
hold
an
on,
automatic
Judge,
resignation.
hold on. I can't hear what he's saying, ma'am. Meredith. I can't. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Well, can she go outside? I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
Okay, we'll
I
wait.
got great hearing.
We'll wait.
And I can't hear him because she's got a
We'll
good
wait for
voice.
Meredith. We'll wait.
All right, let her get done first.
Go ahead.
At least 3. The yelling and arguing and asking to leave.
Proceed now.
Let me be very clear, it is for lack of confidence. And that was made aware.
Lack of confidence takes 4 votes.
We're aware, no.
Yes, ma'am, it
I'm
does.
so sorry
I'm sorry, but I know the law. I've looked it up, and I have an Attorney General opinion to that effect.
Okay.
Would you like to cite me the law?
No, it's the Attorney General.
No, would you like to cite me the law that says you go a simple majority, you can dismiss a sitting judge for lack of confidence? No, you can't, because it doesn't exist. Now, I'm gonna read this to you, and as you said, I have not to be interrupted.
Yes, sir.
It's very short. Texas law states that accepting a second office of emolument is considered an automatic resignation from the first. The Texas Supreme Court decisions affirming this principle, specifically the common law doctrine of incompatible office, holds that qualifying for a second incompatible office is an implied resignation of the first. Cases like Pruitt versus Glen Rose Independent School District have established that acceptance and qualification for a second incompatible office vacates the first, and the officer does not hold over, according to the Office of Attorney General. Madam, you are not the mayor. When you accepted the judgeship, you automatically resigned. You cannot be reappointed by the council. You have to stand election. Now, you can ignore the Supreme Court. That sounds fine, but that's the law. All of you are subject to whatever penalties, I guess, they can apply to you.
Okay, so, and I apologize, in the email, I did not say lack of confidence. That's not the reason the removal. The removal is.
Well, what is it?
We do not, well, it's what I actually did tell you in the email for your.
Lack of confidence.
No, I did not say
You
lack of
said
confidence.
lack of work.
Yes, we do
And
not have.
you cannot terminate the judge for lack of work. Number one, I have plenty of work, and number two, you cannot close down the court during my term, and you cannot dismiss the judge for what you conceive and consider lack of work. That's the law.
Okay.
Now, if you had an attorney here, he would tell you that, but I will share with you that I did check with a 35-year experienced city attorney,
I know.
and he 100% backs up everything I've just said. So you can continue having a renegade situation, but if this council wants to proceed, they put the city at risk. Because you are not the mayor, because you automatically resign. I'm sorry, you should have known the law.
So you're saying I'm not the mayor?
You're not the mayor. You automatically resigned your
You're really
mayorship
not.
when you accepted the judgeship. You did accept the judgeship, and you did accept both salaries. That's called emolument.
Okay.
And those are incompatible offices. That's under the law too.
Right, so when I did.
Back in July.
You know what, I'm actually not going to do an educational, I'm not.
No,
We
you
should
don't
all
know
be
the law.
well enough
You
educated.
have no legal
And
experience.
we're gonna move on to number 6.
Why would we want to remove the judge from the processing?
Right now, Dan, you should be the mayor pro tem. You should
We are
take over the
definitely
meetings.
not
That's the law.
doing this.
And what y'all need to do is acknowledge that there's a vacancy, and then you can appoint a mayor. That's simple.
Are you ready to move on? Thank you. Discuss and vote on minutes from September 25th, 2025, special city council meeting.
I make the motion to accept the minutes from this October.
All in favor?
Who seconded that, I'm sorry? Who seconded the minutes?
Dan voted, Meredith seconded.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
Well, there's a motion on the table for September special city council meeting minutes. And we had a motion, we had a second, and all in favor.
Everybody voted for them or you?
Well, I've got 2 ayes.
Okay. For the minutes.
Let me go for the minutes.
No.
Okay, so we got,
Okay, so let's have that discussion since we don't, like, why are we not, we're gonna discuss on minutes from September 25th, special city council
I
meeting.
put y'all wanted the budget in there, I put it behind it. That's what y'all asked for, the council member asked for last time, to put the budget behind the minutes, and I did that. That's all the problem was.
So why is that?
I want an attorney to look at that before I get.
Oh, I'm not about to.
You want an attorney to look at our special meetings minutes
Yes,
because of a problem?
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with it?
there's a problem because there was more taken out of the police budget than we initially voted on in the prior budget.
There was, no, there wasn't. I just
Okay,
did-
listen, y'all,
No, it's not.
Madam
You need to
Secretary,
let- don't know
I
what
want
you're
attorney,
talking about.
listen, I want attorney to look at, but I'm not voting on it until attorney looks at the budget. I'm not voting on it until attorney looks at it.
But you've already voted
I know,
for
but,
the
but
budget.
I voted on the one, not the last one, it got changed after I voted on it. All I'm saying is, I want to, give me an attorney, let's sit down and I'll look at it and I'll explain it to him. We can have a meeting and I will do it, but not now because it's been changed since I okayed it. You don't change a budget after it's been okayed. So I'm voting no.
Okay.
You all are gonna have a vote. She's supposed to take orders from y'all.
Okay, who's,
So, I will vote to,
You made the motion right now.
Dan's made the motion,
Meredith
we got a second, two opposed, there's a tie. I'll make the motion to accept the special city council meeting minutes from September 25, 2025. All right, number 7. Discuss and vote on minutes from October 20, 2025, city council meeting.
Any discussion for October 2025 city council meeting? From the council?
No?
Well, then I make the motion to accept the minutes from October 20th city council meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Discuss and vote on financial reports for October 2025.
Is there any department heads in the meeting still? Or-
Mike, and Norma both are out for very good reason. So I knew they were not gonna be here.
I have reviewed the financial reports for October 2025, and I make the motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's everybody.
Congruently, number 9, discuss and vote, make the motion to accept the monthly reports for October 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor? That's everybody. Discuss and vote on Hawkins Community Development Corporation 2026 budget. Greg and I spoke, and he unfortunately could not be here for a very good reason. The budget does look a lot like last year. They have not changed much at all. If everybody else has been able to go over their budget, I would be comfortable voting for it without Greg being here. But that is y'all's call.
Any discussion requirements from the council? I did as well, and it looks perfectly great to me. I make the motion to accept the community developmental program budget.
second.
All right, discuss and vote on candidate for Wood County Appraisal District Board of Directors for 2026-2027 term.
We have, the 3 candidates, we have either Rick Cameron, Sam Curry, or Al Harris. That y'all need to vote on, who y'all want to.
I'll vote for Al Harris.
I'll vote for Al Harris.
I'll vote for Al Harris.
All in favor of Al Harris? I just want to make sure that it's on the
But they
book.
made the motion.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was clear and on the
Who
book.
made the motion?
For that one.
Well, y'all kind of went down
Okay.
and said the
So
same
just-
name,
just
and
put
so I'm
all?
just like,
Put
yeah,
all?
just saying, yeah, I just want to make sure that's clear.
Okay.
Discuss and vote on Southwestern Electric Power Company for authority to change rates.
I'm gonna need more time to look at this, so I would make the motion to go for D, option D, which would be to suspend SWEPCO's request of change in rates for an additional 90 days before taking final action due to the simple fact of I need more. I just need more before I make a decision.
Seconded.
Second,
I second
with the reply of needing more information?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree. Good job. Yeah.
Too much legal wording in there.
I understand, I understand. All right, we're at number 3, implement spending freeze pending cost of water tower and railroad leaks. Approval required on all purchases effective immediately.
I make the motion to freeze purchases due to the fact that we're in dire straits for money regarding the budget and the projects that we're looming above our heads as far as our water department and our water service goes.
Second that.
Who seconded it?
Nick?
Okay.
All in favor?
I have a question
All.
about that. Who's gonna approve of the, purchases or whatever? Are you gonna do that? Give it to you or?
They go through you already. I think the efficiency would be, they come to you. You could easily get to me. It's easier for you to get to me than for all of them to get to me.
Right, okay, so go through me and then you'll make the final decision?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Dan beat you. You want a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.